Guys, I'm back again. Um, Gonna do another episode. In the last episode I sent out, concentrated on basically Forest. I don't know why I said Forest. Concentrated on Manchester City and Manchester United, the FA Cup that's going to be played tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I made a prediction that Manchester City would win the FA Cup 3-1. I said goals from Haaland, Phil Foden, and Jackie Grealish to get that. And I'm going to stick that with that. Also, I did my Premier League table. Now, in the Premier League table, I went for Liverpool to win the title next season, and I really think that Liverpool will do it. People might say, "Oh, that's crazy." Liverpool finished fifth this season, just gone. But there was in transition. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they get a couple of defenders in, they get a couple of midfielders in, which I'm sure they're going to do. I think there was Milinkovic Savic, the guy that plays for Lazio, was mentioned. Jude Bellingham was mentioned, but now he's going to Real Madrid. I feel that, though, with that front line, they've got those new strikers they've got in. If they all stay fit, Gakpo coming in, Nunes coming in. You saw glimpses of brilliance from them this season. You saw some fantastic wins that Liverpool put together against teams that were near them. You saw the development of Arsenal obviously coming through in the 2022-23 season. Obviously, they looked like they were going to win the title for a long, long time. Then Manchester City pipped them towards the end in the last month or so. And they won by 5 points, but Manchester City sort of eased off a little bit towards the end, losing to Brentford on the last day of the season. Haaland was rested, players like that to give Manchester City a chance at this. Well, the second time that someone's got a realistic chance of winning a treble. So, as I said in the last episode, Manchester City will be playing Inter Milan, I believe it is next Wednesday, on the 7th of June. But before that, they've got to play Manchester United tomorrow on the 3rd of June. So there's a 4-day gap. I believe the same as what Manchester United had last time they went for it in 1999. They won the league. If my mind serves me rightly, Manchester United won the league by beating Tottenham 2-1 at home on the last day of the season, and they had to get a better result, I think, than Arsenal on that last day of the 98-99 season, and they did that, and obviously they won the league, and then they went on to play Newcastle United in the final of the FA Cup. They won that one 2-0, goals from Sheringham and Scholes, I believe, in that game, and then we went to that crazy final in the Nou Camp in Barcelona, where Manchester United ended up beating Bayern Munich after going 1-0 down early on to a Basler free kick, I believe it was, from Bayern Munich. They got 2 goals in injury time at the end of 90 minutes. One from Sheringham and one from Solskjaer. Those 2 guys obviously been immortalised in Manchester United history. Will it be repeated again? I think, like I say, my prediction for the FA Cup is for Manchester City to win 3-1 over Manchester United. As I said in the last episode, for those that didn't know, it's the first ever Manchester FA Cup final in the whole history of the competition. It's the 142nd FA Cup final, so it's been going for donkey's years, way before any of us were around. But yeah, as I say, Manchester City to win that 1-3-1. Now I'm going to do my prediction for the game against Inter Milan. Now, Inter Milan, I believe, in the Italian league are second at the moment to Napoli. They are a good team. They have got good strikers. Lautaro Martinez is one that stands out to me. They have got that threat there. They've got a number of good players, some good defenders. But I still think City will have too much for them. And on the night, I am going to go for Manchester City to win that one. And I'm going to go for them to win it. I'm going to go for them to win that one 3-1 as well. So I'm saying 2 finals 3-1. Like that scoreline, my mate Darren says that scoreline a lot. He's a West Ham fan. Now, I did predictions earlier. Now, I got them wrong. I actually think that Fulham's going to drop down. I think Marco Silva's going to get... Somebody's going to take Marco Silva, and I think it could be Tottenham. I'm actually going to go swap those places around. I think I said Fulham in the last episode to finish... I think I said something mad like 17th or something. I'm going to go for them to finish in the relegation zone, and I'm going to go for West Ham to stay just above it. I feel West Ham's going to drop off a tiny bit. They've had not a great season this season. I think they're going to drop off purely because some of their old players are starting to run down the clock a little bit. I think Benrahma, he's not lived up to the hype, and I think that obviously Declan Rice is probably looking like he's going to go to Arsenal or Manchester United for next season. My prediction, I'll probably say he'll go for Arsenal because they're, I just think that Arsenal are an up-and-coming team. They're a good young team as well. So yeah, Declan Rice is probably going to go. He's their main player. If it wasn't for Declan Rice last season, I do think that West Ham could have been looking at relegation. He did pull a lot of strings for West Ham. Now, other finals I've got to predict. I didn't say about the Europa League final, which was played out between Seville and Roma in the week. Now, Roma's boss, Jose Mourinho, has won it all pretty much. He had a chance to win the Europa League again, but he failed on penalty shootout. It was a 1-1 draw, penalty shootout. Seville won 4-1 on penalties, and that is Seville's 7th Europa League win of their history. The Europa League, as a lot of us older guys know and girls know, used to be called the UEFA Cup years ago. So congratulations to Seville. They've had 7 Europa League wins, which is absolutely outstanding. They're almost becoming the Real Madrid of the Europa League. What I mean by that is Real Madrid have won 14 Champions Leagues, so no one is getting close to Real Madrid's record of 14. I don't think Manchester City will get close to it. Newcastle now, they have a chance to build and to start winning things, with them being the richest club in the world now. Paris Saint-Germain are one of the richest clubs, but they haven't managed to win the Champions League. I think they got to a final, but they haven't won anything like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what will happen with Newcastle. It'll be interesting to see whether Mikel Arteta will build on the good success of this season with Arsenal finishing second. In my predictions, I said Arsenal will finish third next season. I really do think that Liverpool are going to, with their experience and their mental toughness, knowing that they've already beaten Manchester City in a season, albeit halfway through the season, we had the COVID crisis, which meant there was no fans in the ground, which made it maybe a tiny bit easier for Liverpool to keep that run going, with not so much pressure off fans and things like that. Well, not verbally anyway. But yeah, I think Liverpool are going to go for it next season. I think they're going to win it. And as I said, Manchester City finished just narrowly behind them, I think Manchester City's dominance can't go on forever and ever and a day. They have got the best striker in the world at the moment in their team, Haaland. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what does happen next season. But anyway, moving on, that's just my review of all the different finals and the things that have happened, obviously, over the last week or so, and obviously what's to come, obviously, in the next week or so. But yeah, I did a prediction for the Premier League. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run down my prediction for what I think will happen next season in the Championship. And I'm just going to breeze through it quickly. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to... 2 episodes in a day today. We've covered all that. We're going to go into seeing what's going on with the other leagues. And obviously, like I say, we're going to focus on the Championship now. So I'm going to go into that. So what I think, personally, I think next season, who's going to get promoted from the Championship, I am actually going to go with Leicester City to win the title. I think Leicester City have just gone down with Southampton and they've gone down with Leeds. I think Leicester will finish in first, Leeds will finish in second. My playoffs, I'm going to go for West Bromwich Albion to be in there, Coventry, and I'm going to go for Millwall to actually get in there this time, and I'm going to go for Southampton to be in there as well. So that's my predictions for the top 6 of the Championship. I'm going to do a more, like, all the way through, the whole table on another episode. But that's what I think will happen there. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my tips, or what I think will happen next season. 1 or 2 obscure ones. Now, as a Forest fan, towards the end of this season just gone, Taiwo Awoniyi, he came back from injury. He'd been out for about 3 months, I think, injured 3 or 4 months. Now, when he come back, he got 6 goals in the last 4 games of the season. Now, they weren't against rubbish teams. He got a couple against Southampton. Well, okay, Southampton was pretty lame. Obviously, they went down. but he got 2 away at Chelsea, who had not had a good season, and he got some good goals against Crystal Palace, and he also scored against another good team, Arsenal. So I think, as a Forest fan, I think if he don't get injured, I think he's going to be on 20 odd goals next season. So if you're someone that wants to have a little bit of a flutter, I would go on Tyrone Wanyi to get 20 goals or over next season. I don't know if they'll give any odds for that, but you should go with that and see how that gets on, because I think it's most likely to happen. Also, from my team, Morgan Gibbs White, I think will move even further on from last season. He got something like 7 assists last season. I think he'll be up there, and I think you should go with him to finish as in the top 3 best assists in the season. So I don't know if there's anything for that. That's another one. Also, I'm going to obviously go for Haaland to be top goal scorer again next season, but I'm also going to go with Darwin Núñez to finish up there as well. And I think Darwin Núñez for Liverpool next season will move on from how he did this season. I think he ended up with 11 goals this season, but he did come halfway through the season, or just under halfway through the season. I think Darwin Núñez is going to drive Haaland close. And obviously Kane again. There's a rumour Kane might go to Manchester United. He may even be offered the option of Real Madrid or Barcelona. I think he will move away this season because I think he wants to win something. He has to look at a team where he can win something, a team that wants him. He's not going to win anything at Tottenham. Tottenham are on a bit of a downward spiral. I predicted that they'd finish 7th next season. I think that's where they'll finish. It'll be one place higher than what they did this year. I just think no one seems to be interested in going there. All the top managers have gone there. It seems to be like a poison chalice. In some ways, like the England international job. I think, like, okay, we talk about Southgate getting England to semi-finals and final. He did well to do that, fair play, even though we bottled it in both situations, which does deserve for him to go on and have another few tournaments, in my opinion, compared to the managers we've had before who were better players who didn't quite come up with it, apart from Terry Venables and Bobby Robson a little bit in the past, in my era in the 90s. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what goes on there at Tottenham. So I can't see him doing too much. So I've gone 7th. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough season. As I say, I predict Fulham, because I think Marco Silva's going to be on the move. I think Tottenham might go for Marco Silva, and I think he might fancy it as a bigger team. So I'm predicting Fulham, Luton and Sheffield United to go down next season. So that's my predictions. I think Bournemouth are going to pull off another bit of a shot. They're not going to finish too high. I think I predicted them to finish 15th again. And I think my boys, Forest, will go up a few more places. I think we'll go up to 12th. Steve Cooper's done a fantastic job. It's never been seen before that someone's had 30 odd new players coming at the start of the season. The first season back in the Premier League in 23 years as well. So all that pressure on that. Tons of injuries that he had to put up with, at least 15 at one point in the season. And players that just didn't want to play, arguments, causing trouble, you know what I mean? Had to get rid of a few of them on loan. He'd done fantastic to get through there. Some great wins at home to Arsenal and Liverpool, winning 1-0 in both those games. Beating Brighton, who've finished 6th the season, just gone 3-1. That was a fantastic result as well. So, anyway, I won't bang on because I know most of the people that watch this aren't Forest fans. So, but yeah, whoever your team is, as I always say, good luck to them in the transfer market. I hope that they do get something that they need. Just thought I'd do a little bit more of a review on top of the one I've already done. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, whether you're having a barbecue or whatever you might be up to with friends and family. And I'll catch you again for another episode, and that will most likely be on Sunday or Monday. So have a good time. Bye for now.